Civil rights groups are joining with educators and parents in a call for more racial diversity among teachers in the Boston public schools. 88% of the students are Black, Asian, or Latino, but those groups account for a little more than 1/3 of the teachers. To make the case for changes in teacher hiring, recruitment, and retention are the Education Project Director from the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights and Economic Justice, Matt Cregor, and the President of the Black Educators Alliance of Massachusetts, Edith Bazile. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Chris.
I want to start with Edith Bazile. You worked in Boston public schools for a number of years. How does the way things stand right now compare with what you've seen before?
I think that there is less diversity now than there has been in the past. We in the past had some successful initiatives and programs to ensure that we have a representative population of teachers that match the demographic population of students, or at least attempted to. I think now there is not as much of a priority in light of the fact that there is so much new research that affirms the need to have Black educators in the classroom. For example, students that have Black students in particular who have Black teachers, according to the latest research, do better in the classroom academically, are referred to advanced work classes at a higher rate, drop out significantly less. So if you look at the numbers say that if a Black male has a Black teacher in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, his chances of dropping out are 29%. That is a powerful statistic in terms of the need to have Black teachers in the classrooms. Boston Public Schools does have a pipeline program, and part of that is trying to encourage high school students to go to schools of education. But if they don't see themselves represented in the front of the classroom as a teacher, you can't be what you don't see. And we do need that representation. Having Black teachers in the classroom prepares all students for a diverse society and to work with each other more effectively. So it is an important priority that Boston Public Schools needs to get back to.
Well, aside from the studies and the statistics, what about your own experience? Do you ever tell anybody a story about, how you were able to do something, connect with a student maybe during your time?
Well, I can even use myself as an example because I grew up in Boston, went to Boston Public Schools, had 13 brothers and sisters, grew up in poverty, in a two-family parent household, no doubt. However, my teachers didn't see me as college material. So when I graduated from high school, I was in a work-study program. So again, going to the pipeline program, I expressed a desire to go to college. My grades were good. I was a compliant student, but I was quiet. I was very quiet. And my teachers didn't see me as college material. However, I got myself into college at 17 years old because I got the help of a dean, Dean Latham, over at Northeastern University. And I went back to Boston Public Schools because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to show students like myself that they can achieve their vision, their goal for the future, particularly those students who express a desire to go to college, but there's not a lot of investment in their ability to learn. So I think that there is a lot to be said about how students are engaged. If we have teachers who can connect and have shared experiences as our students, that fosters a sense of positive engagement. Teachers of color, according to the research again, invest a lot of time in challenging our students. Students who have Black teachers, Black students who have Black teachers take more college entry exams, see themselves as going to college more often. So there's a lot of benefit of having Black educators in the classroom, engaging our students.
This is BNN News. We're talking with Edith Bazile from the Black Educators Alliance of Massachusetts and Matt Cregor from the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights and Economic Justice. Matt, I think you're hearing echoes from the Boston School Department and I imagine the mayor's administration too, that we want to do this, yeah. We want more diversity. I think we're making some progress. What's missing?
It's a shame that we can look now in 2018 and back to 1994, the last year that there was an order in our school desegregation case that required these teacher diversity improvements, and see that the percentage of white teachers to the percentage of teachers of color is back to what it was in that time, right? So in 24 years, we haven't moved the needle. That doesn't mean BPS doesn't have some promising programs to do something about this, but it means we're going to need to do a lot more and do some of the things that we used to do back when the district prioritized this and was exceeding the numeric requirements of the order to make sure we had a diverse teaching force that represented the student body that we have. It's time to do more in practice than we're doing on paper.
Is this mainly about making people feel willing to work in Boston, or are they just not knocking on doors that they were knocking on before?
I think we've seen a dramatic cut in the number of people who are recruiting teachers. We've seen a diminution of the central office's role in making sure that we are improving teacher diversity and indeed holding schools accountable for doing so. And I also think while we have these pipeline programs, we haven't been investing in them at the scale that their interest requires. So if we have students and paraprofessionals and others who want to pursue a teaching career and want to sign up for these programs but can't because there aren't enough seats, we're deprioritizing what could be done to improve teacher diversity.
Edith, what about retention? Is there a struggle with things like burnout maybe, or in trying to keep talented teachers in the school system?
I think that retention is probably the biggest problem at this point. We have some teachers going in, but they're not staying. So the question is, why are they leaving? In the case of Black teachers, what the research also states, and Dr. Travis Bristow has done some of this research, particularly around Black male teachers, who go in and have a dual role of being a disciplinarian. So they are given the most difficult classes. They are placed in schools that have been underperforming, and they don't have the support or resources to do the job. So that is a real problem for those teachers who are going in and leaving because the conditions are not supportive of their continuing role as a teacher. So we need to look at the retention issue, which is a huge priority in terms of where are teachers of color going and why aren't they staying.
Matt, could there be a problem also further down the pipeline, the colleges that train teachers?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, this is an issue that starts as far back as we can go. But we know that Boston as a district was able to meet the numeric requirements of these orders that we're talking about and did so for years running when this was a matter of priority. There are things that we can do as a state and certainly as a city to improve teacher diversity from the jump, but if we have programs in our own backyard that improve that pipeline from our own students so that we don't have to travel across the country to make that happen, those are the places we can invest in first.
Thank you both very much, Matt Cregor and Edith Bazile.
Thank you.
We'll have more news in just a moment.